Pure white paint streaks stretch across the surface of Rose and Ben's house, creating a perfect beauty but also hiding dark secrets that no one can expect. Entering this house, you can immediately feel a cold and indifferent atmosphere, a space that does not welcome warmth or joy. Nicola, a 10-year-old boy, always had a curious look on his face as a small attempt to learn about the world around him, but the closeness and indifference from Aunt Rose and Uncle Ben turned it off. The flames of curiosity in his soul. Next to Nicola is Sammy, her little sister, only 2 years old, with a smile like a ray of sunshine in the darkness. It seems that, in the dark and cold heart of this house, Sammy's smile is a small bright spot, the only hope for these two children. But the heartbreaking reality is that Nicola and Sammy are not only lost children in a loveless home, but also victims of a huge disappointment, sown by the couple Rose and Ben. They are not the expected children, but just a heartbreaking note about these two people's unwanted responsibilities. Rose and Ben's patience with childish harassment seems to exist only in dreams. Dreams, and all of Nicola and Sammy's needs are pushed away and ignored as an unwanted burden. In the silence of this house, a feeling of loneliness and helplessness prevailed, and the two children learned to protect themselves by hiding in their room, looking for some comfort and protection in the face of coldness and indifference from adults. And only when the police arrived, when the truth began to be revealed, did people see a dark and horrifying corner behind the outward beauty of this house, and people's hearts ached when they realized the innocent children had to endure suffering without any explanation. One hot afternoon, as the sun began to set and the sky turned orange and pink, inconvenience enveloped the entire house. On the stove, the woman turned her back to her nephew, mechanically focused on cooking for him, and her lack of concern for the child was as obvious as the distance she kept when Nicola realized Sammy was thirsty.
Sickness se must face danger, armed with the truth and determination to rid the wrongs of the past. With Helson and evidence pacare leading the way, Francesca toca the bread, and opened the cabin door, preparing for the coming confrontation. The morning was cold. Francesca breathed deeply, filling her lungs with fresh air. She was nervous about meeting Hector, mixed with constant fear for Arturo's safety. Every step she took towards the car seemed to weigh upon her heart pounding. The phone in his pocket vibrated, interrupting his thoughts. An unfamiliar number appeared on the screen, making her heart skip a beat. Then she answered the call. The morning silence was broken by Arturo's scream.
Returning to his room, he finds his sister playing alone, in an innocence that stands in stark contrast to the harsh reality they are facing. Sammy has some water, Nicola said softly, helping his sister even though he didn't want her to drink dirty water. But that's what they have. Nicola's concern for his sister is evident in his young heart. This shows that, despite being left cold and uncaring, Nicola still retains a part of her warm heart, never forgetting her responsibility towards her sister. Nicholas has always acted as his sister's protector, a steady beacon of light, ensuring her safety as she faces life under the control of her strict Aunt Rose. He often daydreams, looking out the window to a world outside that gloomy wall, where love and laughter still exist. The longing for a better life, in contrast to the harsh reality of the present with his aunt and uncle, became a heavy burden on Nicholas's mind as a constant reminder of the deep gap between his dreams and reality. The contradiction between the desire for a loving home and the cold reality is deeply embedded in the boy's soul, shaping him in ways that Nicholas himself cannot fully understand. Every day for him is a struggle, every act of kindness a small protest against the indifference that threatens to engulf them. On a Saturday morning, the quiet was suddenly broken by an unexpected discovery. Sammy, an innocent, curious 2-year-old girl.
I hope you can understand and forgive. Tears blurred her vision as she sent the text message. Francesca felt torn, each part of her pulled in a different direction. She drove to the rendezvous point with the criminal to negotiate. Every kilometer felt like a part of her was left behind. Francesca walked along the winding roads leading to the agreed location, preparing for a tense exchange. Adrenaline ran through Francesca's veins, mixed with deep fear. She tried to control the packet of evidence in her heart like a lump of lead, reminding her of what was at stake. When she arrived at the scene, an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city, Francesca saw Arturo being pushed out of a dark car. He was clearly injured, but still alive. His eyes met hers, and for a moment, the world seemed to stop. The gratitude and fear in his eyes ignited her courage. Francesca stepped out of the car, holding an evidence package. "There it is. Let him go. I'll hand over everything," she said firmly, trying to hide the tremor in her voice when she saw Guillermo holding Arturo tightly. "Sorry to drag you into this, my friend," Francesca lamented. Guillermo walked closer, flashing a sinister smile. "You think so?" Francesca scoffed, taking the package from her hand. "You think a simple exchange will suffice?" Before Francesca could react, she felt a strong blow to her head, and everything went black. Francesca woke up in a dark, cold room, a hand tied behind a chair. My head throbbed with each heartbeat, and the metallic taste of blood spread in my mouth. Trying to distinguish the figure coming towards her, she realized it was Guillermo. "Welcome to your new home, Francesca," he said, his voice sinister. The word sent chills down Francesca's spine. She swallowed hard, realizing the situation was as heavy as a ton of bricks. "Where is Arturo?" she asked, her voice hoarse. "He was released as promised. But now you are our guest," Guillermo replied, his smile fading. "You will help make sure none interferes with our plans. You will stay here with us." Loneliness and helplessness invaded Francesca, leaving her cold and shaking. But in the darkness of confinement, there is still a ray of resistance. "You won't get away with this," she whispered, as if reminding herself. Guillermo laughed softly, his laughter echoing through the cold room. "I'll say, Frank. No, please settle down." The footsteps faded away, leaving Francesca alone in the oppressive darkness. She closed her eyes, trying to hold back tears of frustration and fear. However, even in that moment of despair, Francesca knew she had to keep hope. She believes that Hector knows she is alive and will never stop looking for her. With that belief, she took a deep breath to prepare for what was to come. The dark and cold prison room became a place of contemplation and planning every second. The hope of being rescued by Hector kept her focused. Francesca analyzed every shadow, every sound, trying to anticipate the moment of salvation. During a long moment of silence, distant footsteps began to sound, different from the usual sounds. The door to the cell suddenly opened, revealing a squad of police officers with a man in front of them. Mom. Hector shouted, running to Auntie Francesca. She almost couldn't believe it. Tears rolled down her eyes when she saw her son for the first time. Hector, it's you. My son, she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. You're so beautiful, she said with a mother's pride. Yes, Mom. It's me. I always knew I would find you. Hector helped his mother stand up. As soon as Mom sent a message, he contacted the police and tracked her down by phone. They are arresting everyone involved. As she was escorted out of the warehouse, Francesca saw Guillermo being taken away by the police. A look of determination appeared on her face. She knew that the next challenge would be the trial. In the following days, Francesca continuously met with lawyers and prepared for the trial. She spent several free moments trying to mend her lost relationship with Hector, sharing the story of her life apart. The son said that he never stopped looking for his mother.
The police officer revealed as he observed the instant change in the couple's expressions, from fear to surprise. "We need to talk to him right away," he said, and ran up the stairs toward the room where the brothers were hiding. The couple is confined to the living room, guarded by another police officer who can barely hide his anxiety at the knowledge that their true personalities are about to be revealed. When he reached the bedroom door, the policeman knocked lightly. "Nicholas, I'm Officer Edward. We spoke on the phone. We're here to help you and your sister. Can you open the door for us?" His voice conveyed a safety and understanding that the two brothers had not felt in a long time. In the room, Nicola hesitated, afraid that this was another trick by his aunt and uncle. However, the tone of genuine concern in the man's voice broke through the barrier of fear, and an encouraging look from Sammy, who was observing everything with fearful eyes, motivated Nicola. He opened the door and saw a middle-aged man with eyes that reflected rare kindness. Edward bent down to be level with Nicholas and Sammy, and they flashed reassuring smiles. "You did the right thing in calling our child. I promise you and your sister are safe now," Edward assured them with sincerity. Nicholas, still holding Sammy's hand tightly, felt relieved to realize that perhaps for the first time since his parents died, there was still hope for them. The comfort from the police officer eased a part of the two children's hearts. The bedroom door opened, and the police controlled the couple in the living room. The oppressive atmosphere of the colonial house began to fade, giving way to safety and relief. The policeman, sensing the fear and hurt in Nicholas and Sammy's eyes, invited them to sit down on the bed, a space that had previously been both a refuge and a prison. "Can you tell me what happened, Nicholas?" the policeman asked gently, encouragingly. Sammy sat close to his brother, holding his hand tightly, while Nicholas began to recount the chain of events that had led to the desperate call for help. As the story unfolds, revealing details of the abuse and neglect the two children endured under the care of their aunt and uncle, Edward, the policeman, feels a heaviness in his heart. "Ever since my parents died, they never wanted us here," Nicholas said, fighting back tears. The pain of loss and abandonment was evident in every word he said. From the hallway, the couple's voices rang out, trying to justify their actions. But the police officer kept his focus on the two children, prioritizing their protection above all else. Completing the report, Edward, his voice filled with emotion, looked into Nicholas's eyes, conveying his promise of safety. He held up the radio and said firmly, "We need the guardian council here. Handcuff them for child abuse." His decision left Nicholas both shocked and relieved, hugging Sammy tighter and whispering that everything would be okay. The couple shouted, but their words fell into the void. No one paid attention. While waiting for the social worker to arrive, Edward sat down between the two children, holding them in a hug that was both comforting and protective. "You're not alone anymore," he said with a gentle smile, his face lighting up. His heart ached when he saw the hurt these two children had gone through, and he vowed to protect them to the end.